This podcast is brought to you by Balancing Act. Teach, coach, mentor, inspire. A collection of candid observations on the challenges facing business leaders today. Balancing Act is authored by Dr. Andrew Temte and is available today on Amazon and other fine bookstores. We sat down with Aaron Vanravenhorst. We talk about early influences, how he got into music, songwriting process, COVID, and creativity, and what's next for this area musician. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is Lacrosse Local.
Here I sit, sing, strumming strings, stab my own toe to the beat, and then asking myself, well, when everything will come to be alright.
I'm Aaron Vanravenhorst. I'm 33 years old, getting into music. I think just like most people, I got fascinated sitting in front of a stereo as a young kid, blazing away albums.
Doing it as a kid, did you have someone who kind of turned you on to different things? Like, what are some of your influences, early and now?
Well, definitely church had a big influence with music from a young age. My dad was a worship leader. He'd even put out a couple albums on cassette tape. So I remember I was a young kid, sitting in front of the stereo system and just listening to his albums in entirety. Then when I was a little bit older, I remember having a great fascination with Matchbox 20 or the Goo Goo Dolls, and just being able to listen to those albums over and over again and just really break them apart even at a young age.
What is your process now in terms of songwriting? How does that work for you? Is it something that's quick and easy, or is it something that takes it some time?
Music being in the family, instruments kind of always being around, other siblings playing instruments, it was always really convenient to just pick up an instrument and dabble here and there. And the dabbling probably began when I was, 12, 13 years old, but it wasn't until I was 16 or so that I really actually started playing. And I don't know that I ever consciously made a decision to say, I'm going to be a writer, or I'm going to write music, or I'm going to play the guitar. It just kind of something that developed naturally from the time I was young, and just having ideas or emotions I needed to express, and then melodies I just learned to play, and they slowly but surely, a majority of my material developed that way.
Similar to that, how does the recording process work? I kind of got turned on to you I saw recently you released Headspace on YouTube, a video of a song, plus seeing you at Artspire recently. How does the recording process go? Maybe those things are related, but is it something that you jump in there and do it? Have you done a lot of recording?
A little bit. I've, over the years, acquired everything I need to record myself professionally. I find the process of trying to record myself extremely difficult because I can't isolate my creativity from trying to just capture what I've already created. So I love what I always kind of get when I'm working in a DAW, but it's so far from what I initially sit down to record, kind of as a B-side or a scratch track of my vocals and guitar, that I can't reconcile the two. And so I almost put my hands up. As far as having been recorded by other people, I'm fortunate with an older brother that's into music, having a lot more gear and experience recording is able to capture me there too. But I don't know. I think sometimes you're always just your own worst critic, especially when it comes to something that's real vulnerable, when it's just you solo with the guitar. And you kind of just want to capture that golden moment that you can conveniently get anytime you're sitting by yourself in your room and you're just wow, if I'd recorded that. And then you hit record and you just can't do it. There's something in my subconscious that always seems to block just kind of capturing, I think the true essence of a song. Drives to a big part of my music, which I like things that are universal, relatable, despite musicians or songwriters seeming to be like expected to perform. I like rejecting any amount of my own personal ego in a performance as possible. Much easier said than done. And it's something I, as a practicing artist to an extent, I'm always vigilant of not getting my sense of self-worth, identity, or ego mixed into the simple creation or expression. I simply write songs for myself to what I think and feel feels great, and I want to share it. And I don't want to make it any more complicated or convoluted with that.
I could totally understand this sort of analysis paralysis kind of component of trying to tweak every little bit. So speaking to that, creativity, doing it for yourself, did COVID over this past year, I know you released about 3 months ago, you released that Headspace song. Did COVID affect your process at all? Was it helpful or was it harmful? Like 99% of the population kind of turned everything upside down.
Sure. Going into it, I recognized from the onset, like, I'm going to have a lot of downtime, and then also recognize it's a great opportunity for creative people everywhere to really, make a voice of a generation or a voice of a time. And I had that pressure on my shoulders in a sense. And, I don't know. How do you put it? Like, I don't feel like I did well with that challenge, as well as I could. And, there's a time and a season for everything. And that's not to say I didn't pick up my guitar and play, but I didn't make headway with new material or new sense of expression. I think at that time I was, sometimes a little bit delayed. Maybe, next year I'll have something that I can put out, like I take time to process things, and I don't feel bad at all taking my time to get it right, if not at all. And then also to balance that with always be doing something, because in a sense, you'll never feel ready too. But also trying to do my due diligence is saying, like, if I want to have a balance and not see myself solely as an artist, but also, as a person that's handy and intellectual and a thinker, I don't want to just center everything about myself straight around, one aspect of myself.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. It was a difficult time. I mean, I don't think anyone had real expectations. Everyone was kind of in the way of like, what do we do? No one knew it was up.
For sure. And to your question about the music video Headspace, that had been shot right at the beginning of the COVID season. It just kind of took a little bit of extra time to get edited and produced, and finally the final package ready to put out there. And that was all due to an amazing guy, Paul Bjorgi, who, through a friend of mine, came to be aware of me and my material, my songwriting, and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I want to make a music video and I want to make it with you. What do you say?" And it was pro bono, just like that. We hit up a local nonprofit here in Caledonia, Mainspring, founded by Melissa Ray, to shoot it in the location there. One summer afternoon, we did it all on take and finally came out with that momentum. Great things have been happening. You reached out to me, lined up a couple exclusive gigs. I have, through my musical history, typically just filled in half an hour sets on breaks for, cover bands that are playing for hours. And here lately, I'm getting my own, hour and a half slot or solo shows, which is awesome. I'm just feeling blessed, and also a lot of pressure, being that people are interested in what I'm doing, to say like, hey, well, I need to present something that's worth their time.
So you kind of reference a few shows there. What's next for you? What are you excited for in this next 6 months to a year?
Well, August 14th, which also happens to be my birthday, I'm solo act for a small town outdoor concert series put on by Mainspring, where I shot my music video. It's in Caledonia, in the Methodist grassy knoll area there, so it's outdoor. Be accompanied by drummer Riley Benson. You can always find links on my Facebook page, Aaron Vanravenhorst Music, or Mainspring's Facebook page for tickets, or at the door, of course. That's kind of a thing where people are going to take a Saturday afternoon to come see me exclusively, even though it's not a very long show, hour and a half. That's, to me, it puts a charge in my hands to say, all right, I'm going to give them a performance, and I'm going to be prepared to make them wish that it was longer and make them wish I had another show coming up soon. Should drive it to happen.
Lacrosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at Lacrosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the Lacrosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.